Hello, my name is Clayton, and welcome to another episode of the Watch Dog podcast. I'm a professional dog runner and watch enthusiast talking to his pals about dogs and watches. How's everyone doing? Thank you so much for listening. You know I appreciate it. Have a guest this week, my friend here to do our power rankings. You saw the title, our favorite 10 releases from 2025. My buddy Keith. Keith, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well.
Awesome.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I've been listening to this podcast called Pod of Thunder, and it's basically a podcast where they go through do an entire episode on one single song. It's called Pod of Thunder because it was originally a Kiss podcast, and they went through the entire Kiss catalog, like 250 episodes. And then when they got through all the Kiss songs, they started doing other songs. Chris Jericho is a regular guest of the show. Anyway, for any guest that they have on the show, they do a theme song. I wish I had the skills to make you your own theme song, but you don't want to hear me sing.
Oh, that'd be awesome to hear.
It's a really amusing podcast. Chris Jericho's been on like 40 or 50 episodes. I'm going through there's like 650 episodes. They've been on for 14, 15 years. One of the longest running podcasts I can think of. But yeah, he's had a few theme songs throughout the years. I think his first appearance was in 2016, Chris Jericho, and he still goes on to this day. So pretty cool.
And it's all like heavy metal
Nope,
songs?
it's everything.
Okay.
I mean, Jericho, yeah, that's Jericho's wheelhouse, but he's been on for a Michael Jackson song, Give In To Me, Gerardo, Rico Suave, he did, Smooth, Santana, and Rob Thomas. So yeah, they do a bunch of stuff. They did a Christmas song today by Randy Bachman. Pretty funny episode, but yeah, so it's kind of everything, all genres. Yeah, like I said, it started off as because anyway, yes, they have humorous theme songs. They're all musicians, so they do theme songs. I wish I could make you your own theme song because you're on enough. You're a musician. You should write your own.
Yeah, I did. I used to have a podcast many years ago, and I did write the theme song and record the theme song for that. If I give a shout out to another podcast, Krista Makes a Podcast. It's where they go over a song with the artist who wrote it. And Krista Makes is from Less Than Jake. So a lot of the artists are like, punk, emo bands, but they really have a wide variety of artists. And that's like my favorite thing to hear an artist. I like talking about the music that they wrote. So
Cool.
yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that kind of stuff. I'll have to check that one out. I'll put links to those podcasts in the show notes. Yeah, it's really, really fun stuff. Anyway, how are you? Your Bears are playing well. Admittedly, they are ahead of my Lions right now, so I am rooting for them to lose. Lost a close one to the Packers.
I will say, I watched the Packers game yesterday, the Bears-Packers game, and the Bears offense did not do anything the first half. So the fact that it was so close at the end gives me hope. Like if they played that way for both halves, they would have won. Improve every week and hope for the best. There's a lot of Bears fans with a lot of hope for the next Packers game since it's at home. So we'll see what happens.
I have to say, Caleb, I'm not sure how good he is, but he's fun to watch. I mean, that guy never gets sacked. He gets out of all kinds of predicaments. You think he's going down, and then he just kind of runs toward the sideline and then somehow throws it up and completes it a lot of the time. I'm not sure how he does it, but yeah, I don't know if he's a good quarterback, but yeah, he's, like I said, he's fun.
The problem is that's every throw. I would love for him to just be in the sit back in the pocket once or twice and make a pass, but he's running around like crazy every throw. So I would like to see that lessen a bit, even though it is fun to watch.
Yeah, it should be a fun final four games of the season, and Lions Bears play each other last game of the year, so that might be for a playoff spot.
And that's in Detroit, isn't it?
No, it's in Chicago.
Oh, okay, I couldn't. The last Bears-Lions game was so traumatic, I erased it from my memory, so I couldn't remember if that was home or away.
Yeah.
It's going to be cold. I mean, well, now, this Saturday, it's going to be, what was it, high of 8, low of -1. That's not the wind chill. That's the actual temperatures. I can't imagine playing football in that, or sitting in the stands and watching people play football in that kind of weather. That's not for me.
Yeah, that does not sound fun to me at all. I think I told you the only time I went to Soldier Field, it was a Lions-Bears game in '99. It was close to Christmas. And I remember, I think it was that cold. Plus, there was a bunch of snow on the ground. Yeah, so I don't remember that being all that fun. And I was not old enough to drink legally, so I couldn't drink at the game. And yeah, that made it even less fun.
Like, I would pay money not to go to a game. Like, I'd probably pay good money not to go to a game like that. You know what I mean? Forget if someone has free tickets and I can go. No, I'm not going in the cold. I'll do anything unless they're box seats. I'll take those.
Yeah, in a suite, I'm there. Heat, unlimited drinks and food, and private bathroom, I'm there. -8 degrees or whatever the hell you said, no way.
Yeah, so I think the Bears play at home on Sunday. At least where I am, it's a high of 9, low of 2. So yikes.
The feel like temperature might be even worse.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. Yeah,
yeah.
Especially when the wind's whipping through Soldier Field. It's like right on the lake, right there.
I did a turkey trot when I was in Detroit, and I got to tell you, it was cold. I think it was 30 degrees, but it was windy, and the feel like temperature was like 12. And I gotta say, Midwest cold, I'm reminded that Midwest cold hits a lot different than East Coast cold. Man, that was brutal.
Yeah. I live here because my family and friends live here. Otherwise, I'd get the hell out of here.
Yeah, there's a reason I moved from Michigan, I'll tell you that. And it's even worse where I grew up. But anyway, no one wants to hear about the weather. We have a lot of watches to cover, so we should probably get going. First of all, though, let's do a wristwatch check. What are you wearing?
I'm wearing my at-home watch, which is my Casio F91W. Honestly, let's be honest here. It's probably I probably wear it 90% of the time. The other watches get the other 10%, just because, well, for one, I'm a homebody. I'm home a lot, and it's comfortable, and I wear it all the time. Best $15 you could spend on watches, I think.
Now, you had one that you kind of wore out, right? And you replaced it?
Yeah, the strap completely broke on it, and so I just went on, bought another one. It's back. I think that last one lasted like 6 years or something, so a lot of use out of it.
Okay, I'm not sure if I'm surprised it only lasted 6 years or if I'm impressed with that. If you wore it a lot and like probably got it wet and sweaty and everything, I guess that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm pretty easy on stuff.
Yeah.
Clothes, watches. I can make things last if needed. So.
I am wearing my Lions Breitling. They won the other week, or the other day, I should say, against the Cowboys. Feels like a week ago. I don't know what day it is. That was when those Thursday games. They feel like they happened, 2 weeks ago. So, still wearing the Lions Breitling. I'm approaching 100 days of wearing on the year. I have that wrist track app. I think my State of the Collection episode, I'm going to go through the wrist track statistics of. This is by far my most worn watch of the year. I think if they at least win one more game, which hopefully they will, then I'll get over 100 wears for the year.
Yeah, I have a feeling they will.
Well, I don't know. It's been kind of an up and down year, and they lost another player to injury. Brian Branch tore his Achilles, out for the year. Yeah. Did you see the Colts are going? They're bringing Phillip Rivers in.
I did not see that.
Yeah. Daniel Jones went down also with an Achilles injury yesterday. And I don't know if they're going to sign him or not. And he's sort of like an emergency backup. But yeah, 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, who's a grandfather, apparently, and hasn't played in 5 years, is going for a workout.
Yeah, that's crazy to be older than I am now and playing professional football. I couldn't imagine it at my age.
Yeah. I think of it, it's like, man, he's a grandpa, and I'm 3 years older than him. Holy crap. Anyway, all right.
Yeah, that's wild.
All right, so I thought we'd do something fun. I don't know that I've ever done an episode like this, but why not? A lot of other podcasts and YouTube videos do. And I thought I'd do it in power rankings. So a lot of the like sports talking heads, Rich Eisen, Colin Cowherd, they'll do weekly NFL power rankings, the top 10 best teams in the league. That seems to be a lot of fun. I gravitate towards those videos. I watch them. And then, you disagree with them. You get mad. You go in the comments section. Your list is trash, all this stuff. So I figured we would do that with our favorite watch releases from 2025. You and I kind of have different tastes, so I thought it would be eclectic. I'm not thinking we're actually going to have any of the same 10, but you never know.
Yeah, I find that hard to believe. I could see one on here that I think you would like, but otherwise, I don't think we're going to overlap at all.
And it's really any price point too. Like a lot of mine are just the watches I liked the most, and doesn't mean they're the ones I would necessarily buy. I would have to sell my house to buy at least one of these. But no, they're just, sometimes it's fantasy a little bit. And then about half of these I could actually probably afford to buy if I put my mind to it. Are all of yours watches you could realistically purchase?
Yeah, I could realistically purchase them. I think some of the MSRPs are higher than I'd like to pay. So it would be like a pre-owned purchase.
Yeah.
But nothing crazy. Like one of my, that didn't make my list was, there's a gold Ingenieur that IWC came out with this year. It's like a yellow gold with a black dial, which is an awesome watch. But it's too big for me, one, and it's too expensive for me. So this is a very Keith centric list of watches that I was excited about, and I usually don't get too excited for like super expensive watches. So
yeah, that one. Honorable mention for me. It almost made my list. I love that. I love that black and gold, the black dial with the full gold. Oh man. But yes, it's like 41 grand.
Yeah.
So,
I'd probably buy a day date if I was going to spend that money.
Yeah. I don't know if I would. I guess if you were looking to possibly get that back easier, full gold Ingenieur is not going to be your ticket to get your money back. So you're probably safer getting a day date. I don't know, but I love that Ingenieur, full gold Ingenieur way more than any day date. That's for sure. But yeah, it's probably a better use of your money. That's for sure. Okay. So before, I know we kind of talked about this. Do you have any other honorable mentions or like releases you really dislike before we get to our actual list?
This isn't a particular release, but there's a lot of people predicting that Omega is coming out with a smaller diver, and yet it keeps not happening. So that's on my dislike list for the year that they didn't do that. Now, there's like a 39.5 Planet Ocean. It's too thick, and I wouldn't buy that. So I would love like a smaller Seamaster. So I'm disappointed that didn't come out at all. There was like a non-release. And the only other thing I could think of I really didn't like was the Land Dweller, particularly because it should not have a fluted bezel. I think it's too flashy already with the way the flat links and everything like that. And if you add the fluted bezel, it's like way too much, in my opinion. I think they should have done something at least with the bezel. Overall, I could live with the watch, everything else being the same, I think. But that's disappointing. It's overly flash to me.
I agree. It's a little confused. I think it should be a smooth bezel also. I'm sure it's very impressive in person, but yeah, that certainly did not make my list. I'll tell you that.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, there were a few that I almost put on here, but really the big brands, except for one, did not really make my list. Like nothing from Seiko really grabbed me this year. I think it was it hit home that, man, I don't know that I really identify with Seiko much anymore. Nothing they released this year did a whole lot for me. What is it? The SLA 081. I know we have a friend who bought that. That's what that reference number is, right? The big diver, the new, Marine Master. Like that one, I guess, but not enough to make this list anyway. Did I really hate any releases this year? Cartier, and this is way out of my price league, but Cartier did that jump hour. I know this is the year of the jump hour. I did not like that release at all. Everyone was saying like how beautiful that was at Watches and Wonders. I don't know. To me, and I know it's a callback to a watch they released in like the 1920s. That was one of my least favorite releases of not only Watches and Wonders, but the whole year. I don't like that. I don't know how I feel about the new Planet Ocean. I know I said in the last podcast that I'm not really loving it, but they did slim it down a little. That's your smaller diver. There you go.
Yeah, everyone's happy they made it so much smaller, 42 millimeters. It's
Right,
like,
right.
keep going down, I say. But
Yeah.
I'm going to make a prediction. My prediction is the titanium Cartier Santos made your list. Don't give it away now, but that's my prediction.
Okay. All right. Oh, I wonder if I should guess. I'm going to guess the Seiko speed timer with the internal bezel made yours. Again, don't say it, but that's going to be my guess of watches that made your list, because I think you've talked about that one before. But anyway, yes, we'll see if our predictions come true. Yeah, so why don't we get started here? Our 2025 watch release power rankings. You're the guest. You can go first. What's your number 10?
My number 10 is a watch I don't like, but I'm putting it on my list because it wins the award for most improved watch this year,
Okay.
and that's the Tudor Ranger. The 36 millimeter size fits it way better. It's too plain, too much blank space on the 39 millimeter. I know there still is a 39 millimeter, but you could buy it in 36 now. And I do think, even though I don't like the Dune dial color, I think it fits what they're going for, and makes the watch more unique. And I think they did a good job with it. It's not something I would buy. I would buy, like, a Laurier Falcon over, paying $4,000 for a Tudor Ranger. But I do think they have improved it. And so it made my number 10.
Yeah, I did. I mentioned in the last podcast I did that I got to try on the 39 on Black Friday when I was in Detroit. Went to a watch store that we have several mutual friends who do their shopping there. Yeah, I mean, I love the Dune. I love that dial color. That, if I was going to get a field watch, a Ranger, the black dial didn't really do all that much for me. Yeah, that Dune color, I think it looks awesome. But again, it's just, I agree with you. It's a little too much blank space. Does the printed dial bother me? Kinda, if I'm being honest. I would rather seek out other brands that maybe had applied indices and stuff. That probably wouldn't bother me after a while, but maybe for the money it kind of does. But you can get that. Eventually, you're going to be able to get those used. I've seen the black dial used for like $2,000. I'm sure the Dune will get there eventually. Tudor is best bought on the secondary market, or several, right. You and I are both in several watch groups that we can pick those up for, great used prices. So that I would wait personally, but yeah, I love the Dune dial color. So yeah, good pick. All right. My number 10 is astronomically priced. I would never be able to buy one, but I've been kind of hard on Omega. So they actually made my top 10 list. It's the Diver 300, the SMP 300, but in bronze gold with the red bezel, full bronze gold, the mesh bracelet, and the case. I think that watch is stunning. I actually got to see it in person at the authorized dealer earlier this year. It was released way back in February, so one of the first releases of the year. The reference number is ridiculous. We'll include links to all these in the show notes. I'm not going to read it off, but yeah, 42 millimeter bronze gold. The dial's black. The bezel is red. It is just so dang good looking in person. I didn't get to try it on, but saw it in the case. And man, even used, that's really not going to go down too much. This is sort of fantasy land, and that's why it's number 10 on my power rankings. I held price against this one and put it at the top, but that is a stunning watch.
Yeah, there's one or two that even made my list that I'm holding price against it. It would have been higher on my list if it was priced better. But what was the price on that one again?
$32,900.
Oh boy.
Well, it may have gone up now. I actually found a great website, The Watch Pages, that has every single release from 2025, and I use that as my reference point. I'll put a link to that as well. Not everything is in here. There were some brands excluded, like no Cartier releases, but for the most part, a lot of heavy hitter Swiss releases and Grand Seiko and things too were in here. But so this may be outdated, but as of today on the Watch Pages website, $32,900 USD.
Yeah, some YouTubers have already like ranked their watches, and I specifically avoided that so I can make my own list and not be swayed by
Me
anyone
too. I
else.
have not really watched anything like that whatsoever. So I'm kind of going in clean. I think Teddy did a video and I purposely did not watch it because I knew I wanted to do this.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
all right. What's your number 9?
Number 9 is I feel like a release that just kind of it was just something that was released and no one ever talked about it. And it's the Longines Zulu, the new colorway with the rose gold and black. The bezel and the dial is black and the accents are rose gold. And it probably is the best or second best colorway for the Zulu time. And it just kind of was released and no one really mentioned it at all. So I wanted to give a shout out at number 9. I tried it on. It's fantastic, and it's very similar to they came out with the 1925 this year, which is like I think the same, but the bezel is rose gold, so it's a bit pricier. The 1925 that looks great too, but for me, it's the Zulu time rose gold black.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite color combination of all of them. I am noticing a theme as I go through my list. I am loving two-tone and like full gold. So yeah, that is a killer design. If I were to buy one of those, it would be that one for sure. I have not seen it in person yet. Hoping to one of these days. Maybe if we meet in person and you pull the trigger on it, I can try yours on. But yeah, incredible. I thought it would be higher. I thought that would be higher on your list.
Oh, interesting. Okay. It's tough to put, although, yeah, it's tough for a watch that to put higher that it's just a new colorway
Yeah,
like that weighted down a bit. If it was it was like, hey, Longines has come out with a 39 millimeter Zulu time, that'd be way higher. But just the new colorway puts it a little lower on my list.
yeah, I tried to steer away from that as well, new dial color or new material, but I did fall victim to it. And one may have gotten kind of high on my power rankings, but that remains to be seen. But yeah, great pick. Great pick. I couldn't remember what other variations of that watch were released this year. So I was thinking that would probably make it pretty high on your list. But
Yeah, I believe the blue bezel was released this year with the gold accents. It's hard to remember, but a couple of other colorway releases. Oh, one other colorway release that I didn't make my list was the white dial Longines Legend Diver in 39 millimeters. That's probably my favorite version of the Legend Diver. And then they came out with a new Seiko Alpinist. I think there's more differences than just the colorway, but they came out with a teal version this year, which is pretty cool. That was also a runner-up. So
yeah. All right. My number 9 is a jump hour from Watches and Wonders that I liked way more than the Cartier, even though the brand is not nearly as highly thought of. It's a brand that rebranded last year at Watches and Wonders. Everybody hated the watch brand. All the watches were sort of generic looking. The watches before had some character, and then they just came out and they looked bland, characterless. This year's releases I thought were much better, but it seems like damage has been done to the brand, and that's Bremont. And I went with the Terra Nova 38 full bronze jump hour. Again, a watch that looks kind of like full gold. It's bronze, but it's full bronze. I think this is a really sharp looking jump hour. It's legible. I think the dial is essentially a bronze disc with cutouts for the jump hour. I think maybe that turns some people off and like it could scratch and everything, but I don't know. I think this watch looks incredible. Now they do release it in steel. This is a limited edition of 100 pieces. I've still seen these available. I think I got an ad from like a Reed's Jewelers and they had one of these available. It's 7,325 USD. Even though it's a limited watch, it's a Bremont. I think you can probably get some money off of this or wait for it to come up pre-owned. I think did Topper have one of these recently? Pre-owned? I think they might
not
have.
that I recall, but
Somebody
100
did.
is a small amount of
Yeah.
watches to still have watches available.
Yeah, but again, it's Braemont, and I think they did a lot this year to improve their standing in my eyes, anyway. But I'm not sure the watch enthusiast community at large feels that way. But I think even on last week's TGN, James and Jason, who both love Braemont, said the brand was dead to them essentially. Which I was surprised to hear, but I don't know. It's not dead to me. I'm actually intrigued by this watch, and if I saw one at a decent price and I had some money burning a hole in my pocket, get a couple drinks in me, it could happen. Yeah, the Terra Nova. It's 38 millimeter. Let me give some stats on it. 38 millimeter aluminum, bronze, closed case back, gold. Yeah, I think the dial color is gold. It's that disc. So I don't know what kind of patina their bronze gets. I'm not sure if it'll age like maybe the Tudor does or maybe some other watches. You may get some green wrist from it, but I don't know. I think it's an incredible watch.
Yeah, I wish I would have. When I went to Wind Up this year and walked right by the Braemont area, which was large, they had one of the largest areas there. I wish I would have. There's a lot of watches to see and only so much time, but I wish I would have at least stopped and looked at a couple. But speaking of patina, on Delray, at least it was there as of a couple weeks ago. They have a Black Bay 58 silver on there with heavy patina. Holy cow! Is that watch way greener than I thought that they would get? So that's interesting. Yeah, that would be my worry with the bronze, of course. But the bronze itself looks cool. Like you told me that you liked the watch, and you sent me a picture and I looked it up, and I liked it way more than I thought I was going to. Based on the jump hours, there's like it's there's not a lot of dial, as you're looking through windows or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool looking.
Yeah. Yep. I think we're conditioned now to just immediately dismiss Braemont without even looking at the watch. Like if you said you liked a Braemont, I'd be like, oh, why is it like a Braemont? Then I'd look it up and be like, oh yeah. So I think that's maybe what you did, but I can't blame you. I mean, they kind of did to themselves, and I've never seen this kind of rebrand met with such hate and vitriol from people who seem to really at least kind of like the brand before. But no, I think they made a bit of a comeback. I want them to succeed. I don't want to see any brands, go under or anything. So hopefully what releases like this continue and they come back with a vengeance. All right, number 8 for you.
Number 8 is the Certina DS Action Diver in titanium in 38 millimeters.
Good one.
So these were announced not that long ago. The reason it's not higher on my list, I think, is because I've never seen a Certina in person. They're not, I could get in the car and drive to most watch brands, and the micros I see at Wind Up and everything like that, but I don't ever have a chance to see Certina. But based on me looking them up, people seem to really like them. I love that it's titanium. I love that it's smaller, 38 millimeters. It's gilt. It's a very generic looking diver. It's not unique like some of their other, some of their other watches. I don't know the names of them offhand, but get a lot more love from the watch enthusiasts than the standard looking, DS Action Diver. But to me, if you're going to buy like a generic looking gilt watch, maybe this is a great alternative to the Black Bay 58. It's however much it is. It's like either $1,000 or a little over $1,000. And you seem to get a really nice watch, a really good looking watch in titanium for that. I keep coming back to it, especially because the pictures on monochrome on their article about it looks so good. Pictures can be deceiving, but yeah, it definitely occupies space in my mind that I would love to see it if possible. But yeah, it's my number. Was that number 8? Number 7?
Number 8. Yep.
Number 8. Yeah, the Certina DS Action Diver in titanium 38.
Yeah, so they have the bezel anyway reminds me of the SMP a little bit. And I really like them. I think there's one that kind of looks like the No Time to Die that me and my friends have, like my friend Craig has seriously come close to buying. I think they do it in 43. Is that right?
It might be 42, but yeah, 43,
yeah,
42.
42 or 43, yeah. Because I remember thinking it might be a little big, but it looks just like the No Time to Die. Kind of has the same like creamy beige indices.
Yeah,
But
I've seen that one.
yeah, that one's really nice. And yeah, I think these are great. So I think Teddy is a Certina dealer. So if you ever go to Cleveland, maybe they have them in store. Maybe you'll walk upon a taping with Mr. Wonderful there.
I would definitely stop by his his store if I was in that area. I think he leaves that for the higher end brands like Grand Seiko,
Probably.
Omega,
Yeah.
Breitling, and
Yeah.
then he kind of, from what I understand, drop ships basically the other brands on his store. Where when he gets an order, like random ADs throughout the U.S. fulfill the order and send it out. That's the way I understand it. I could be wrong, but I've heard that. I've heard that from people who know someone at an AD who was filling an order once for Teddy. So I
Interesting.
think that's how it works. I think I've heard Federico mention that too, without naming names. He said it without naming names, but I could read between the lines.
Yeah.
That's how I understand it works. But I think you could request to see some watches at the store, and he'll bring them over.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense because a lot of those, like he's had some celebrities in there to do shopping, and it does look like it's just the, Grand Seiko, Blancpain, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But well, that's too bad. That'd be interesting to see those in person. You may just have to buy blindly, or maybe a watch meetup or something. Somebody has one. Do you do any like Red Bar in Chicago or anything?
No, I don't do any of that stuff. I don't know. I don't know why I don't, but I don't. But I don't.
Because it would require leaving the house.
Yeah, that. And it's interesting for me to go not knowing a single person and then making conversations based on watches. I mean, I'm sure it's fine, but I was invited to like a tutor event, which I ended up not going to, and I just felt like at an AD, and I felt like there was going to be too much pressure to buy watches. And so I opted not to go, but I bet that would have been fun too. And I don't know, I should probably get out more.
In my experience going to those events, went to a Grand Seiko event, there was like zero pressure to buy anything. It was just, no, they feed you. You walk around. A lot of times there's like brand reps there, so you can talk to them about the watches. Like Joe Kirk was at the Grand Seiko event we went to, and my buddy John and I spent a lot of time talking to him. And we felt like zero pressure. And I wasn't even wearing a Grand Seiko because I didn't own one, but I had my Moser on, and like that garnered a lot of attention from not only other people there, but the sales associates as well. So it was a really cool evening, and we ate a lot of sushi and drank some Grand Seiko themed drinks, and I didn't buy anything. And no, everyone was super cool. So I think next time your AD does an event like that, you should go. Because, yeah, I didn't feel any pressure at all. But that could just be my event.
I asked him how it went, and he's like, we sold 40 tutors.
Wow.
Like, holy cow, that's a lot of tutors.
Yeah.
He said between people buying that night and calling in later and saying, you know what, I'm going to pick up that watch. He said it's about 40
that
watches.
Happens too. And that they get you. That's how they get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw the before and after of the tutor case there, and there was definitely a lot of watches gone. So he wasn't lying.
Yeah, boy. All right. My number 8 is a watch I could never afford in a million trillion years. But I remember immediately loving this watch, and it's a watch line and a brand that I don't pay much attention to whatsoever. And usually I find this watch a little boring past iterations, but the Patek Philippe Calatrava Platinum with the salmon dial and the anthracite hands and indices. I love this watch. I know Bobby Legs and I have talked about it on Watch Soup as well. This was a Watches and Wonders release, and man, it's just, if I had $50,000, because that's what this goes for retail, and I'm sure, I don't know what Calatravas do on the secondary market, if they go up or down, probably around the same. But if I had $50,000 to burn and I was in the market for a really fancy one and done dress watch, I mean, this thing is incredible. I love those anthracite hands and indices. That is such a neat look on the salmon, like the contrast. I just love it. So, and it's platinum as well, so it's going to feel baller without necessarily screaming that it's a $50,000 watch.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. It's a very how do I even it's a very matte looking watch. I don't know how to describe it. There's not a lot of bells and whistles. It's
No,
very simple.
I think those anthracite hands and indices are a bell and whistle, a subtle one that
Yeah,
really
yeah.
I find very striking. Yeah. But again, this is a fantasy world. That's why it's kind of up here at 8. But this is one that I don't stop thinking about, and I watch videos on and read articles and look at pictures semi regularly. And that is not like me. I don't usually do that for expensive dream watches like this. So there's something about it that resonates with me. We can't always explain. It's not a watch I would typically gravitate towards, but for whatever reason, I find it beautiful. All right. How about your number 7?
Okay, number 7, I realized that I didn't have a micro brand on the list. Um, Give or take one other brand, which maybe you could call them a micro brand. I don't know, but I definitely needed one micro brand on the list. And this
Highlander,
watch had such.
yes. Just kidding.
Oh, well, you already guessed it. Let's move on. But yeah, this one was such a big part of my trip to New York this year, going to Wind Up, because it's all everyone talked about. The Studio Underdog and Fears collaboration of the Brooklyn.
Oh,
Um,
so
or
good.
no, the Manhattan.
Manhattan,
Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, the Manhattan. I noted that by memory, which is never a good thing to do. Manhattan. Yeah, so I didn't get it for a couple of reasons. One, I wasn't willing to stand hours in line. Two, I don't drink, so I feel like a poser buying a watch that looks like alcohol, and it's named after an alcoholic drink. So it doesn't just fit me, but they nailed what they were going for. And they had one out there that you can look at and try on and everything. I thought they did not such a good job with this watch, but the other two in the line too. The let's see if I can remember what they are. One's a mimosa, I think,
Yeah.
and one is the oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue. It's like that greenish dial. Anyways, yeah, they did a great job on all three, and I think even they didn't expect it to be as popular as it was, but it was like there was definitely buzz around it in New York. So I definitely wanted to mention. I'm stalling finishing me talking about this so I could think of the name of the other one. I think it's called the Gimlet.
Gimlet,
Actually,
yes.
yeah,
Yes, Gimlet.
yeah. So props to them for like coming up with an idea and running with it and just like nailing what they were going for. And so yeah, Studio Underdog Fears collaboration called the Manhattan.
We almost had the same watch. I came very, very, very close to putting that on.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think that Manhattan dial color. I'm drawn to that type of color of a dial, and man, I think they nailed it. The mimosa was looking really good to me too. I didn't buy it, but I hovered over the, when they had like the 9-hour window or whatever it was last month or the month before, I forget now, but I was talking with Homer about it, and we were debating, and ultimately neither of us did it. But yeah, what a nice job on those. Even the Gimlet. The Gimlet is probably my least favorite of those three, but the Manhattan, Mimosa, Gimlet, I think would be my order. But yeah, phenomenal watches. They're really onto something. And I think it's awesome. They Studio Underdog just collaborated with Christopher Ward on a pocket watch, right? I didn't see too much about it, but yeah, they're doing some really neat stuff. And, I think Bobby and I have talked about it. They're one of the reasons I'm kind of interested in micro brands a bit again. Really haven't put my money where my mouth is, but I'm at least interested in learning more about them. So yeah, good on them. They're obviously wildly popular.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. My number 7. This is an oddball brand that you don't really hear too much about. I think we know somebody who has owned them in the past, but when this watch was released, I just thought it was an interesting complication, a wild look, titanium, which I love. And again, like I'm going for these salmon dial colors. You may not have even seen this one, the Chrono Swiss Pulse One Sand Dial. They made a blue dial. This is the Sand Dial. It was a limited edition of 100 pieces, 41 millimeter. integrated bracelet sports watch in titanium, a retrograde seconds watch. Just a really, really cool 41 millimeter sandblasted titanium finish too. So it looks like a pretty sporty watch. It's $13,000. So not out of the realm of possibility. I could sell a bunch and make it happen if I really wanted to. It's not a complete fantasy. Just a really cool, interesting watch. Not drawn to everything Chrono Swiss does. I think a lot of their watches look sort of old manny, especially like the neo vintage and the vintage models. And they just released a jump hour not too long ago as well that I don't love nearly as much as some of the others. It's okay. It's a like rectangular case. But this with the hands are blue, the numerals are blue, but the main dial is sand or salmon looking. I guess it's more sand. It's kind of hard to tell, but more brown than salmon really. But bracelet interesting looking. The links are kind of cool, reminiscent of maybe the Streamliner from Moser a little bit. Very cool watch.
Yeah, the bracelet is interesting.
Yeah, you don't like it. This is not a Keith watch.
I don't know. It looks dated, the bracelet. I don't know. I can't explain it, but yeah, this is definitely not a Keith watch.
No.
Nothing about it is a Keith watch.
No.
Maybe the titanium, I guess. But
yeah. And like an onion crown on there, which I admittedly not my first choice on this watch, but kind of makes it
I really like onion crowns. This is what is it doing on this
Yeah,
one?
exactly. Yeah, this is kind of an odd fit. And again, I'll put links to all of these watches in the show notes so you know what the hell we're talking about. But yeah, this, I don't know. There's another one that it was released in May, and I keep thinking about it, and I keep checking if they're available. So yeah, this Chrono Swiss Pulse 1 Sand. And yeah, they did do a blue dial. The blue dial you might like a little more. But yeah, the onion crowd, that would be my one complaint. It's not a perfect watch. That seems a little out of place on this watch. But all right, number 6. We're getting through here pretty fairly fast.
Yeah, so my number 6, and this is one I don't think anyone would call this a micro brand, more of an independent brand. So this watch is by Ming. It's their 5704 Iris.
Oh, cool.
Their limited edition to 100 pieces. I think I read that it's celebrating their 8-year anniversary or something like that. I don't really get into the anniversaries, but it's probably my favorite Ming that I've ever seen. It has a very different case than they normally have. Very cool looking lugs. I don't know how to explain it. And then they have this like color changing dial depending on when you're looking at it straight on, it looks like it's like purplish pink or something like that. But then when you look at it from different angles, there's all kinds of colors that you'll see. It's a 40 millimeter Ming. Mings were small, at least that was my experience with the Ming I owned. So a 40 would probably actually really work. And it's a bit thicker, so it's a beefier watch, but not like for a Ming, not for a regular watch. So it has some good wrist presence, and the dial looks so cool. It's like it's a monopressure chronograph, which there's hardly any markings on the watch, so I don't think anyone's buying it for that. I know a couple of people that have this watch that really seem to love it. It's crazy. It was only 100 pieces, and it actually was like pretty well priced too. I think the Swiss francs I saw was like 6,700. So, less than 4 figures for this type of limited Ming. Really cool looking, Ming, from what I've heard, is actually difficult to buy, like because you have to go through their website and they'll reject your credit card. It seems like a big rigmarole. So it's not, and it's, more than I'm willing to spend on a Ming also, even though I think it's well priced. But man, is it a cool looking Ming. So I would love to see it in person. I wish I would have, I don't know if they had it there, but I wish I would have went to Watch Time, just to see if I could see that watch in person. But yeah, they did a great job with it.
Yeah, that watch is incredibly cool. I did contemplate buying it. And fun note, I actually have a client who's semi into watches. Not really. When that watch was released, he sent me the link randomly. I was like, how'd you even find out about this watch? But he's like, what do you think? Is this a good buy? I was like, oh, great buy. I don't think he ever did it, but man, yeah, what a cool watch that even people who aren't in as deep as we are, it's on their radar. So yeah, Ming is a brand I have yet to own. I don't know that I've even seen one in person. I don't think I have. But yeah, they're always cool, and the neat thing about them is it's unmistakably a Ming. They just have the hallmarks that immediately let you know it's a Ming, and that one is super cool. And people that bought it, right? Maybe you'll get to check it out one day.
Yeah, maybe. You never know. Yeah, it's cool that like, a newer brand like Ming has their own unique look. And when you see a Ming from afar, you could tell it's a Ming, but it's not out there. Like it's a pretty, it's how it's yeah, it's not like a crazy looking kind of dial or case, but it's very Ming. And to come out with a watch, in the 2000s, or I think theirs was a little before that, that looks unique and still great. I think that's really tough to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And how old are they? When were they formed?
I'm gonna guess like 2015, 2017.
Wow, they are that new. Holy cow! Wow, I kind of want to look it up real quick.
Yeah.
Dead air. Real quick, trying to look it up. About. Let's see. You're on hold here from listening. Let's see if I can see a year. No, I can't. Anyway, I'll try to provide that somewhere in the show notes. But yeah, incredible.
Oh, I think I found it. I think
Okay.
it's 2017.
Wow, I didn't think it was that new. We talk about Christopher Ward doing cool things. They've been around for a while. They've been around for a minute.
They were 2004.
Yeah. 8 years. I mean, yeah, for them to establish their own kind of like that people immediately know, even people who are not really into watches, like my client who messaged me about that. Yeah. Kudos to them. All right.
And like each release, it like they do something either interesting with their dials, or they're interesting with their movements, or there's always something new. It's not the same thing over and over again, even though they have a similar look. They're always trying something new, which I appreciate. But anyway, continue on.
I actually was going to say, I actually thought maybe in the last year or two that they sort of lost some steam. But they're back. I think they're back with this watch. They're back.
Yeah,
in spades. So yeah, what a trajectory for Ming. That's awesome. I didn't realize they were that new. Cool. All right, my number 6. So we talked about the full gold IWC Ingenieur, and I really, really, really wanted to include it, but I can't have a bunch of $40,000 watches on my list. That seems silly. So I cut that price in half. 20,000, 19,500, and I went for the Ingenieur 42 in black ceramic. I like blacked out watches. I've owned several. I really want an Ingenieur. I probably won't be able to swing 20 grand for this black ceramic, but this one was released this year. They reintroduced it last year or the year before. Man, I think this looks like a Darth Vader badass watch. Man, fully blacked out Ingenieur. Just a great release. And I've seen the Ingenieur in person. I've tried it on. Wears like an absolute dream. And man, if I had 20K laying around, I'd be dangerous. I'd be rocking one of these things.
So which one did you try on?
I tried on just the standard pre-owned model in New Jersey this summer when we went to SummerSlam. Watches of Switzerland had one. They what is it? Collective or one of those Analog Shift maybe. They have like a used watch section within Watches of Switzerland, and they had one. And oh man, it's so good. Just wears like a dream. The steel, not the titanium. It was steel.
Yeah, I wonder what this would go for pre-owned.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they cool a little bit on the secondary market, but not horribly. I don't know. I don't even think you could get this for 15. Probably what, 18? Be a little bit off, I would say, but I don't know. It's not limited.
Yeah, this release escaped me. I didn't I know that this didn't. I didn't know about it, but I'm looking it up now. It looks great.
I like blacked out fancy watches like the Santos large. That's I think maybe our friend Wolfgang has it, the all blacked one DLC.
Mhm.
That's really cool. Like I like when you take a luxury watch and sort of badass it up like this. Looks great to me.
Yeah, I know. We know someone with the. At least he had the ceramic Laureato.
Yeah.
Um, I wonder. I don't know the price of that one, but yeah, I mean, you could wear it all day and looks good as new, which appeals to me. That's for sure.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I that doesn't necessarily appeal to me, but I still like ceramic. I had and let me tell you, I had the ceramic GP casquette, and it still picks up dings and scratches. I
Mm.
mean, it's not going to look perfect. That had like these polishing between the links, and those were definitely scratched. And then there were actually some scratches on the main like case of it too. So yeah, it's not going to stay perfect, and you just have to be careful dropping it, obviously, because ceramic can shatter. Yeah, I'm not sure you want to wear it too much outside in the winter and then slam it down. Uh,
Yeah, that would worry
yeah,
me.
yeah. We were in a group, and I don't know who it was. I wouldn't name them anyway, but I remember somebody. I think it was maybe in the Random Rob Discord years ago, um, who bought a ceramic watch. They had it delivered to their house in the winter, and it was cold. And they went to size it, and they were like hammering to get the link out, and the watch shattered. So you
Yikes.
just have to use common sense. I think maybe wait till it warms up. Pro tip: if you get a ceramic watch delivered to you in the winter months, let it warm up a bit before you size it, or just be careful because that could happen. So that's the one downfall.
Yeah, yeah, that would worry me.
Yeah. But yeah, really, really cool looking watch. All right, number 5. We're getting halfway there.
All right, number 5, the Grand Seiko Spring Drive UFA
I knew it.
SLGB003. So this is, they're highly accurate, I think plus or minus 20 seconds a year spring drive. It's kind of like the smaller white birch. And it's in titanium. It has their micro adjusts for the first time.
Yes.
So it has a lot of stuff going for it. I really, really like the white birch. It's a little big for me, especially with a 21 millimeter lug width with a bracelet that doesn't taper. So it's a little big than I prefer. So this is a little more. I do, I'm a watch enthusiast that has to, nitpick, but it's a little smaller than I'd prefer probably.
Yeah.
I have not tried it on, but Seikos wear small and Grand Seikos wear small in general. So 37 millimeter probably wears like a 36 or 35. But they made this for people like me who want the white birch. It's a little big. And I think they really did a great job with this. I'm excited to see it in person. I should have made a point to see some of these before doing this episode because I could just drive to the Grand Seiko 80 that's pretty close. But um, the one knock, it's expensive. It's I think what 11 grand or something
Yeah.
US. So it's more than I'm willing to pay for it, even though I think it's worth it. I don't think it's egregiously priced, but I think pre-owned, if it drops in value pre-owned like the white birch does, I think this is going to be a great pickup.
Yeah, I agree. The size is the one thing that the one reason I didn't put it on here. The size. I would never buy a 37 millimeter watch that's that expensive. I would maybe
Yeah.
try like a micro brand just to see how I liked it. But I mean, I had the 38 millimeter, the Citizen, and that was fine. Maybe a little small, but it didn't bother me. But any smaller than that, and I think it'd just be a little too small. But yep, great release for them. Spring Drive is already crazy accurate. I have the Spring Drive SNR, and I've worn it for I think the longest is 2 or 3 weeks in a row, and it didn't deviate at all. So I can't even imagine the UFA being that much better, but it is. It's rated much better anyway. So incredible watch. They finally have that clasp now with micro adjust. that we hope to see on other models. Doesn't sound super promising, but you never know. But yeah, and in titanium too. So great
Yeah.
release.
One thing, this could, it's a thinner watch. It's like 11.4 millimeters thin or thick, depending on how you look at it. So, Grand Seiko's known for making thick watches, which both of us, aren't big on. So if they, use this movement and other, watches, 62 GS case and everything like that, it could mean, there's thinner Grand Seikos to come, which is awesome. So it gives me hope for the future, and that they'll use micro adjust more, even though they came out with a UFA after in purple where they didn't put the micro adjust on
So
there.
weird. I was just going to say that.
Odd.
Why did they not do that?
Yeah, it's
but
odd.
it was steel, right? It was not titanium.
Yeah, I believe that one is in steel, but
Yeah.
still, to make such a big deal of the UFA with micro adjust, and then they released the second one, and it didn't have it. It's more to come in the future, I say. Just keep looking forward.
It is curious though. You'd think you'd want to keep the the brand. If you're going to use UFA, you're going to use that. You'd think you'd like to keep the traits and characteristics consistent. But we know Grand Seiko and Seiko make curious decisions like that all the time. So not surprising, I guess. But yeah, great pick. And I that was the one I knew that was going to be on your list. I should have predicted that. But all right, go ahead.
My prediction is that Sanjay's number one watch. If he still followed watches wherever he is, that would be his number one.
I have not heard from our friend Sanjay in quite a while, but I'm sure he's still out there. And that UFA, he's making some deals at his AD maybe right now. He's trading something, and I don't even know what he has anymore.
Yeah.
All right, number 5, and I went Fantasy World again here, but these watches they released what was April? 8 months ago now, almost. And I still think about these watches regularly, so I figured no matter if I can afford them or not, they're my favorites of the year because they've stuck with me. No other watches have stuck with me like this. The JLC Reverso Tribute Monoface Small Seconds in rose gold with that rose gold like mesh bracelet. Typically I would like a dual face Reverso, but oh man, I just think this watch is, again, if I could afford this, would I need another watch? Yes, I would eventually, because we all know that's a lie we tell ourselves to rationalize expensive watch purchases. But I think this thing is so beautiful, so sharp looking. Would love to get to see one in person. Maybe one of my, it's here at 5 because of the price, but sneaky, maybe top 2 actually. But I put it here. It got penalized because I'll never be able to afford it. It's $45,000, and I would imagine this is going to hold value pretty well. I don't know. With gold is doing so well right now. You never know. But I don't think you're going to be able to get this too much at discount. I still would never be able to afford it. You could cut it in half. I wouldn't be able to afford it. So, but man, it's a stunner.
So explain the two dials. What do they look like?
So the main dial. So monoface means it just has the one dial, and then you turn it over and it's blank. So that, like,
I got you.
The original purpose for this was so polo players wouldn't damage the face of their watch, so they turn it over and it's just nothing. So that's what monoface. But really, it's it's really sort of just, I don't know, one color. It's all sort of rose gold. I'm not sure how legible it is. It is sort of that like salmony rose gold color. Sometimes I think rose gold watches look feminine. Watches with Dennis, he had a live stream this weekend. He was talking about the new or from Watches and Wonders, the Parmigiani Toric in rose gold, and I thought that watch looked very feminine. But this, I could rock this, no problem. I don't think this looks super feminine, but yeah, beautiful, beautiful watch. I'm almost done with my Fantasyland watches. I have one more on my list, but
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting there now. Number 4 for you.
So number 4 is by a brand I'm not big on, admittedly. It's a very popular watch, and I think they've made the best version of that watch. and this is the Tissot PRX in titanium in 38 millimeters.
Nice. Good one.
People like me, I think the 35 is too small and the 40 is too big. So the 38 is probably the perfect size for the PRX for me, at least. And adding that it's in titanium, adding like it's a gray dial with either like copper or rose gold accents. I think they've really knocked this one out of the park. I wish I was at a Tissot AD not that long ago, but they didn't have it in yet. But I mean, when I look at I will say PRXs look better in pictures than in person, but even so, I think they did everything right with this watch. So I'm really looking forward. And because it's relatively affordable, this could actually be a maybe buy. So yeah, I got to give props to brands giving us what we're asking for. We've been asking for 38 millimeter, at least I've been, PRXs. They delivered in the best way. So the Tissot PRX titanium 38 millimeter.
Yeah, that's a great pick. Awesome watch. Do you have a Tissot dealer near you where you can go check this out?
Many, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We have one. So I've been actually thinking about going to check it out. Yeah. And they did the carbon fiber one recently too, right? That also looks pretty good.
Yeah, they did a carbon fiber, and then they did. I'm blanking on the name of the type of case and dial it is. I'll have to look it up. But they came out with two 38 millimeter watches, the titanium one, and then the other one in the type of case that I'm blanking.
That might be the one I'm thinking of, actually, not carbon fiber. Yeah, something like that, though, right? We're a great informative watch podcast here.
Yeah. Hey, I made sure I knew the one I picked. The other ones,
yeah,
it's hit or miss if I'm going to be able to.
You get the drift. Yeah, incredible. Yep, that's a great pick. All right, my number 4, my last one in fantasy world for me. This is a grandpa watch, but I love it. This screams like I've talked about my great uncle who wore what might have been a real Rolex or a fake Rolex. I don't know, but I remember him wearing like a gold watch, and he had hairy arms and chest hair, out. This watch screams this to me. It's the GP Gerard Perregaux Laureato 50. Limited edition of 200 pieces. It's a two-tone Laureato, and it would fit in like the mid 80s to me. This is like, this is so cool. I think it's awesome. 39 millimeters too, perfect size. The price is $31,037, which is an odd price, $31,037. But again, another watch I will never ever be able to afford in a million years. But yellow gold, steel, yellow gold. The bezel is yellow gold. The crown is yellow gold, and then the mid links are. Oh man, it's just so good. Looks so great. I don't know if these are available anymore. 200 pieces, not very many pieces, but man. If I win the lottery and this comes up, I'm buying one of these. This will be my FU. I won the lottery. I'm retiring watch. I think it's so awesome.
Yeah, You're Terrific did a video on this one.
Oh, did he? I didn't see it.
Yeah, I love this watch.
Yeah.
Have you ever owned a two-tone watch?
I had the Oyster Quartz, Rolex Oyster Quartz that was two-tone. Yep. White, yellow gold bezel and crown. Yep. And that's my wife actually hated it because she literally called it a grandpa watch. But yeah, this is a rich grandpa watch.
This is not a grandpa watch at all. Yeah, this is like a modern. I think this really works for modern day. It's like a modern, great looking two-tone watch.
Yeah, like Philip Rivers is a grandpa at 44. He could wear this watch. He's a cool grandpa while he's playing for the Colts. But yeah, I love this thing. I need to watch that video. I have been admittedly way behind on YouTube content, so I need to. I feel like I haven't even seen his videos pop up recently, but I guess they have. I need to watch it. So good. All right, your top 3. We're in the top 3 here. How about number 3?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say that the other Tissot PRX and 38 is Damascus steel.
Damascus steel. That's it. It wasn't carbon fiber that I was thinking of. Damascus steel. Yes.
But they might have come out with one with a different type of case. Maybe it's a
That's the one I
can't
like though.
remember.
The one you said, the Damascus steel. That's the
Okay.
one I like. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Yep.
Anyway, my number 3, the first watch I've ever liked by this brand, and they've been around for a long time. And this is the first one that's appealed to me, the Breitling Super Ocean in 40 millimeters.
Yes.
They nailed the dive watch for me, at least. They came out with the 40 millimeter this year. Is the first time they've had a 40 millimeter, at least in the recent times, Super Ocean. I don't know if they've ever had one. I think the last one was 42. So they came out with the 40 in black and green. The green is a great green color. They really nailed it. And I went to the AD and I asked to try this on, and it just like fits me like a glove. I think my one thing I would change is I would have like different markings on the bezel because it's just lines. But overall, I mean, sometimes I like spending money on a watch and it looked like you spent money on a watch. Like the way Breitling does with their polishing and everything, it looks like you're wearing an expensive watch, which kind of does appeal to me. I mean, it is an expensive watch, so it should look like that, I guess. Yeah, I'm looking forward to other colorways. Maybe they do a black and rose gold in the 40 like they have in other sizes. That would be really cool. But yeah, the bracelet is really cool. It's what's the word? I don't know. I'm bad at words when I'm being recorded. I'm bad with coming up with words. Mesh.
Yeah, it's mesh. Yeah, it's a mesh on that one. Yeah.
So it's not it's not like it's not a Submariner clone. It has its own style.
Oh, for sure.
While still being classic looking, and it just works. So I keep my eye on eBay just to see what they're going for these days. You could get one new for a good amount off for sure. Yeah, who knows what the future holds, but I really like this release. It makes me more interested in Breitling overall, honestly. I hope they keep improving their watches like they did for this one.
Yeah, they had a good year, I think, with that Top Time as well, like a reasonably sized watch. And then these one thing I love about their releases is they'll do several different sizes. Like, hey, Omega, pay attention here. Breitling gives you pretty much no matter what size watch you wear, you get an option here, and maybe not the same colors. And they didn't do that with this version, but yeah, great release. Yep. I think it's definitely its own watch. It got some like YouTube mainstream attention as well. Kind of a critical hit, and also with enthusiasts. Breitling's kind of hit or miss with enthusiasts, but I agree with their watches looking expensive. Like I'm wearing the Lions Breitling right now. It's an expensive looking watch, especially with the bullet bracelet. And I was at a bar this summer, and this girl was talking to us, and she looked at my watch. She's like, "What's the deal with this? Is it fake? You can tell me if it's fake. I don't care." I was like, "It's not fake, but it just looks. It's a big chunk of steel, so it just looks impressive." And I think Breitling kind of nails that. So
yeah, to me, I got to pick my spots. Like I've said before, like I own a Grand Seiko. No one knows what a Grand Seiko is outside of watch enthusiasts. No one knows what watch I'm wearing, but it looks expensive because it has these flat surfaces with this high polish.
right.
So I do pick my spots wearing it sometimes. But when you're in the mood for that type of watch, it's great to have one like that.
Yep. I don't always love polishing, but I understand that. I understand. Like this has it's very scratched up now, but the mirror polished bezel, stainless steel bezel on the B01. So I think that and still in certain light, like the sun reflects off of it, can blind you, right? So I think coupled with that, it's a very like expensive looking watch. It looks like a really nice watch, and I think that gets people talking sometimes. Not that we want that, but I get it. And I think that's what non-enthusiasts are really looking for. And maybe the one reason why the new Planet Ocean will appeal to non-enthusiasts. I know like Pete McConville did a video, saying essentially that will happen, even if enthusiasts don't love it. They like a non-enthusiast, like a big watch, and they like a shiny watch because they're only going to spend that much money one time, if maybe two, but on a watch.
Mhm.
So yeah, they like that kind of thing. So I can see it, I guess, from that standpoint. A Planet Ocean with polished center links appealing to people for sure. All right, my number 3. I just mentioned several watches that cost $30,000 and $40,000. Well, the cheapest watch on my list beats them all, and I am at heart I'm a quartz nerd. I'm a digital watch nerd. I'm an analog digital watch nerd. This is a brand you don't like, you don't get, but I went with the Brew Metric Digital Blend. It is an analog digital espresso timer. The digital window, it counts down 30 seconds. Not many people need a 30-second timer in their life. It's pretty useless for most people. I think this watch is awesome. I want to buy it for my mom. I haven't yet. I kind of want to buy it for myself too, if I'm being honest. I think this is just another watch that has stuck with me. Still, I gravitate towards Casio watches, towards analog digital watches, and man, this thing scratches me right where I itch. Love it. Number 3, the Brew Metric Digital Blend.
It is pretty cool looking. I will say.
Did you see it at the wind up?
I don't remember seeing this. I'm looking at pictures now. I don't remember seeing it there, but I didn't spend a ton of time at that table.
Yeah, you don't love them. It's they wear oddly, it's kind of like a square watch, 13 millimeters thick, which is kind of interesting for a quartz watch. That a little thick, but yeah, I don't know. I love the bracelet. It looks like a decent clasp on there as well. Has some micro adjust, not toolless, but I don't know, man. I think it's rad. Very retro looking.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Number 2. We're getting there.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to say the Breitling Super Ocean Heritage is what I picked for.
Yes,
I don't think I said the Heritage
Yeah,
part, but
that's right.
Not the regular Super Ocean. But anyways, hopefully people got that. And my number 2 is the one I guessed that you were going to have on your list, but then you said at the beginning of the podcast you almost put it on, but it didn't make it. And that's the Seiko SLA 081, their big Marine Master.
Yes.
It's such a cool watch. I did get to try this on in person. A mutual friend of ours has it. It's over 45 millimeters. It's like 45.3. It's 16 thick. It's laughable when I see the wrist shot of me wearing it because it's so enormous, but it's such a cool looking watch. I know there's a lot of like tech behind it too, the way the case was put together so it could go like 600 meters, deep and all that stuff. It has, I think it's a new movement, but it's basically, people were thinking it's like the same as a Grand Seiko 9S movement. So it's a high beat, really cool dial with the waves on it. If this was like in 40 millimeters and maybe like half, maybe not half the thickness, but like cut way down on the thickness, this would, I would love to have something like this. Now it was only 600. It's limited edition, 600 pieces. I think from what I heard, the US didn't get many at all. Like I know like the Seiko store in New York got one, I think. So that tells you how many are out there. So definitely a difficult piece to pick up from what I've heard. But it's supposed to be big. Like that's kind of like the point of the watch. So it's not a knock against the watch. It's a knock against me owning the watch. But it's basically a Grand Seiko with the Seiko name, which they've had other watches like that too. But such a cool watch. Yeah, the Seiko SLA 081 in titanium. Very cool.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's going to wear very closely to my titanium SNR, which wears fine. You'll bump it on stuff. It's definitely thick and chunky. Definitely has some presence, but in terms of weight, it's feather light. I mean, for as chunky as that watch looks, people are always stunned when they pick it up and like, whoa, it's sort of a mind trip. right? For some watch that thick and chunky to be so darn light. It's really, really cool Seiko. Yeah, it almost made it. I'm on some Seiko Facebook groups and stuff, and there's one guy in particular who posts a picture of this watch every day. He's just in love with it. He's owned a lot of like more affordable Seikos. This is his first like jump up into luxury Seiko. And I know a lot of people poo poo spending that much on a Seiko, but they're so good. They're really good. And yeah, this is definitely a beauty. And have not seen any really come up for sale pre-owned yet. I wonder what they'll go for. Probably right around. Probably right around retail. I don't know. Maybe a little less.
Yeah, it looks like retail. I don't know what it was in US, but in euros it's
I
5,200.
think it was around
in US it
six.
was like
I
6.
think it was six. Yeah.
I will say, like walking around, he was wearing it when we were walking around Wind Up, and it was the only watch that any people at the booth asked about. Like the Raven owner was really interested in it. There was someone at Long Island Watch who was really interested in it. So I feel like, yeah, it got more interest than all the other like cool watches that people were wearing
Yeah.
that day. People were asking about it because
Yeah.
you just don't get to see it. There's so few of them. So
Absolutely.
and it's new on top of it.
Yep. And yeah, I think maybe it was you that told me that that the U.S. did not get many at all. So yep, really cool watch. All right, now my number 2 is, you guessed it. You said it would make my list, and it did. The titanium Cartier Santos, released last month before, pretty new release. I owned a large Santos, and the size got to me after a little bit, but I think in titanium, I don't mind wearing a little bigger watch. So this is I would say, real contender for my next big watch purchase. I love this thing. I just, at 11,500, I'd have to consolidate a little bit. I don't really want to pay that much straight up for a watch anymore. I have to do a consolidation job, but I think this watch would be worth it. It wears great. My authorized dealer carries Cartier, and I have not emailed her about it yet, but at some point, she may get a little note from me asking about availability, because what a cool release. I mean, I had the DLC coated bezel version. I think it's the WSSA 0037 is the model I had. Super sporty watch. That watch also comes with the rubber strap too. So you put it on a rubber strap, and that watch is way more sporty than it has any right to be. It has the great, quick release bracelet to strap change system. You can switch out links, take one out, put one in just with your fingernail. Unless you bite your fingernail, you have no problem doing it. Really great technology, user friendly. Man, what a release! My number 2 watch release for the year.
Yeah, I want to live vicariously through you, and want you to pick that up. So if you can make that happen, that'd be great.
I don't know. I have actually not seen a lot of them online or anything, and I don't know anyone that has one. But a little surprising. Maybe they're not like readily available yet. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone post a picture, make a YouTube video about it. Nothing's popped up. I haven't searched for it specifically, but yeah, maybe it's a slow rollout.
Yeah. And Cartier,
hopefully it's not like those.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, hopefully it's not like the solar tanks that were like impossible to get. I imagine not, but
yeah. I should ask. But Cartier is one of those brands that it's okay, I think, to buy new, even though you don't really get a discount. They're not that much different on the secondary market, and also you can get an 8-year warranty on them. I know somebody who just bought a Santos and was going to buy it pre-owned, but it was only like $1,000 less. And then he went into the boutique and they offered him the extended warranty. I think I have an 8-year warranty on my Breitling also, buying it through the authorized dealer. So yeah, if you're only going to save $1,000, you might as well just pony up, get it brand new, and then you get that extended warranty. So
yeah, I agree. I definitely lean buying new these days because of the warranty, and especially if the price isn't that much different. it's just nice to know that you're the first owner. And if you don't buy a lot, which I don't, then you could kind of justify it. You're not losing money on a bunch of watches. If you really hone in on what you like and willing to spend a little bit more, I definitely like the idea
Right.
of buying new more and more.
Yeah, I agree. And, a lot of people complain about the bezels, fully polished bezels on a regular Santos. They're, they scratch just by looking at them. This is like, it looks almost like bead blasted. And
It does.
it's not polished, the bezel. So it's titanium, which scratches, but you're not going to have a mirror polished scratched bezel on the Santos. So this is just a home run of a watch. Long overdue to make this, and finally they did. All right, number one. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say really quick, I went to go try on a Santos, and I realized the AD I went to, I was there for other reasons, like around that, and they completely closed down. So I'll have to look for a new Cartier. I don't.
The AD closed down. The AD closed.
Yeah, someone told me that they don't have Rolex anymore, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So I went there, and I'm like, no, they completely closed.
They don't have anything.
They don't. Yeah. So that was a surprise, or maybe they moved, but I didn't see them there anymore. So, all right, my number one.
Yes,
and it's anticlimactic because you guessed it already. Seiko Speed Timer SPB 513. It's the watch I saw this year that I just looked at and said, I will own that. It's perfect look. I like the orange accents. I like how it's kind of like an inner rotating bezel, countdown bezel. It's a little different. I've never owned a watch like that before. It's a perfect size for me. Great price, even less than $1,000 MSRP. I mean, I feel like they did everything right with this watch. It really appeals to me. And ever since I got rid of my white dial Seiko, I want I think it's like more of like a creamy white, but either way, I kind of want, a white dial watch back in my collection. You didn't have any Seiko on your list. I had 3 Seikos, including a Grand Seiko. I had a Seiko as a runner-up. I still love Seiko. I love seeing them put out watches that really appeal to me, and this is it. So, yeah, Seiko SPB 513, and they also have a 515 and a black dial.
It's a really nice looking watch. I want to go to my Seiko AD. I should do that soon. See if they have that watch. I'd like to try it on. And yeah, it's really, really nice looking. I kind of like the Datsun one. I know we talked about this. I always thought the Datsun logo was kind of cool. And I remember those around when I was a kid. That's a defunct, or they turned into Nissan, right? I think is what happened with Datsun. But I know they did a collab with that watch. But yeah, the one you're talking about is just really cool. And yeah, hopefully get to see it in person.
Yeah, I went to the Seiko store to look at it. They didn't have one in yet, but I'll go back at some point.
Yeah, I should text my guy.
Some bored wintry day where I've nothing else to do. I'll go back there
when it has a 8-degree feel like temperature.
Yeah, exactly. That would be that I can only hope for an 8-degree feel like temperature these days. So.
Oh God, I'm not emotionally ready for winter. I'm just not. I know tomorrow is going to be super cold, and I have a busy day, and it's just so dang cold at the farm. Today it was freezing. I didn't dress quite warm enough. I move around a lot, so like picking up and dropping off, I don't love to have too many layers on. But then as soon as I get out to the farm, it's like I just have to like keep 2 extra jackets in my van at all times, emergency jackets. But anyway, all right, my number one. It is the only watch on this list that I actually purchased. And I guess it makes sense that it's my number one. It's the Nomos Glashut Club Sport Neomatic World Timer. I got the Dune colorway, which is a limited edition of 175 pieces. They released 2 standard colors, the blue and the silver. And then originally they did 6 limited edition colorways, and those sold out like instantly. I was very lucky to get one. I emailed Jay, my contact at Topper. She was at Watches and Wonders. Yeah, she was in Switzerland. And I asked for the jungle, the green, and that had already been, their allocation had been sold out. I think they only got 1 of each colorway. Like they're pretty pretty hard to get. And I was lucky enough to get the Dune, which is actually my second choice. So, man, I mean, just an incredible wearing watch, 40 millimeters, a world timer movement that is, the movement itself is 4.8 millimeters tall. The watch, as cased up, is less than 10 millimeters thick. It wears like a dream. The bracelet is not my favorite option. It is polished. It has the polished center links, but this is like a strap monster. I've worn it on leather. I've worn it on two-piece nylon. I actually bought a two-piece nylon OEM from Nomos that wears great on it, but there's, $10 two-piece nylon straps on Amazon. I bought a few of those. Wears great. Goes with anything, man. And it's just such a comfortable, well-wearing watch and a fun complication to play with. We are actually going to be doing some traveling in 2026 to other time zones, so I'm excited to put it to use. You put the main time, you can switch. There's 24 hours. There's a very satisfying button to click to move to the next city. And then the smaller sub dial, you can have your time. My dogs will be here with a dog sitter, and I can, know what time it is there back at home while I'm in Mexico. We're going to Mexico. So yeah, while I'm soaking up the rays, I can tell what time it is here in cold Rhode Island. Probably feel like 8 degrees here when we're there. But yeah, just a really cool watch. I know it's not a big hit for everybody. Asymmetrical dial, which people don't love, but man, I just think it's a great release. A very popular release for Nomos. They hit it out of the park. A lot of the watches I talked about that were very expensive were released at Watches and Wonders, and this $5,000 watch from Nomos stole the show, really. It was the watch that so many people picked as their favorite from the show, and it's my favorite of the year.
Yeah, I knew this was going to be on your list, and they definitely realize it's a hit, and they're going to be milking this hit, as they should. They make money. Actually, to send you, I don't know much about it. I just happened to see these two pictures on my feed of newer versions, possibly limited versions.
Yeah, they came out with 3 different new ones now. Yep, and I think those are all sold out too. Actually, in one of the groups I'm in, he lived in Australia, so I wasn't going to buy it, but he came out with, I don't know if I've seen this one, actually. Oh, okay. This is interesting. I have not seen these 2. So yeah, 2 more new ones. I know they came out with 3, like Nightshade or something. Mm-hmm. And those were really neat looking. But yeah, it's a watch that it's so easy to wear. And you think of some of these brands like Omega and Tudor who can't seem to get their watches at a reasonable thickness. And then Nomos can do something like this. Like, come on, guys, you can figure it out.
I mean, before the year started, this is why you shouldn't invest in watches or whatever. But if you would have told me at the beginning of the year, one of the biggest hits of the year is going to be a Nomos, I just wouldn't have believed it. But it's it's just crazy how out of nowhere a brand can come out with like a big hit like this.
Yep, exactly right. I've never given Nomos the time of day. I'm not drawn to any of their other watches at all. Even the other like Club Sports don't really appeal to me that much. This one, for whatever reason, I love the complication. I love that they nailed the thickness or the thinness, and man, immediately knew I wanted it when I saw it. So, yep, it's crazy. That's why there's hope for brands that seem a little like down and out, like Baume and Mercier, or I think Frederic Constant is there. They just the designs are just not appealing to a lot of people, I think, but the technology and the movement is there. If they just come out with a watch that people like the design of, I think they're so close. I think they can nail it, but they just haven't really done it yet. But other brands can do it. But okay, there we go. Our power rankings. Yes. I don't think we need to run down the list anymore. I'll put the lists. I'll put your list and my list in the show notes with links. If you can send me some links, that'd be very helpful. And people can check out the watches we've been babbling on about for an hour and a half or so. But that was fun. I think we made good time, and very different lists, which is fun. I knew they would be. I knew you and I have different tastes, and we successfully guessed a few watches. But yeah, the one I wish I put that I almost put, I don't know what I'd really sub it out with, but the Studio Underdog Fears collab. I love that watch. Yeah, that's. There was a meetup recently that I did not go to, and I saw some pictures of it, and one of the guys there had it, the Manhattan. Like, oh damn, should have went. Could have seen it in person.
That's another one. Like at the beginning of the year, one of the biggest hits of the year is going to be a Studio Underdog and Fears collab. It's like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
yeah, sure there is.
yeah.
Here we are.
It's a fun time because the price point is not bad on those. Like, what was it, $1,500? Like, that's not terrible.
Like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now when Omega is getting further and further out of reach, and so many other brands are raising their prices, it's fun to think of what we can get for $1,500 and a really cool, desirable watch. And you could sell that, and not saying you'd make money, but you at least get your money back because they're only available for a short amount of time. The Manhattan was only available there, right?
Yep.
And the Mimosa had a 9-hour window. If you ordered it within that window, you get one. If not, tough luck. So yeah, you can get in these really cool watches, and if you find they're not for you, you can sell them and break even, get your money back. So yep, really cool watches. Well, Keith, that was amazing. Thank you so much. That was really fun to do.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, it was fun.
We'll have to make it a tradition. The Watchdog podcast new release power rankings at the end of every year.
Yeah, it works for me.
Yeah, I like it. That's a fun thing. And go Lions. We'll meet your Bears in a few weeks, and hopefully they miss the playoffs. But a part of me does I had to root for Green Bay yesterday because we've already beaten the Bears once and play them again, and Green Bay swept us. So I kind of I was rooting for the Bears to lose, but not the Packers to win, I guess. But if that makes sense, if you can possibly do that. But anyway, I look forward to seeing how the rest of the year plays out, and we'll have you on the podcast again very soon. Thank you.
Sounds good.
All right. And please let us know your power rankings of 2025 watch releases, your top 10. You can leave a message on the YouTube video of this podcast. This gets released as a YouTube video. Put it in the comments section. You can shoot me a message on Instagram, and I will share them with Keith as well. You can rate our list too. Do you hate our rankings? Is mine like way too dream world, way too expensive? Do you like Keith's more? That's okay. Let me know. Yeah, shoot me a message on Instagram. Post a message on YouTube. Would love to hear from you. And remember, sometimes you're the dog, sometimes you're the hydrant, but hey, at least you're outside. We'll catch you on the next episode of the Watchdog Podcast. See you later.